NexHacks. NexHacks is a hackathon happening at Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh, I believe in February. I got there, thank the Lord. I'm really excited. I think there's two reasons I'm really excited. One, it sounds bad, but I don't have an internship right now. I have no confirmed internships. I have some stuff maybe pending, but we don't know what's going on there. Um, I think if I can really go to NexHacks and be better, like be 500 times better than I currently am, I can really show off. I think there's gonna be a lot of cool sponsors there, and maybe I can make some connections. Maybe a startup, maybe it might be a company, a Fortune 500. I don't know what's gonna be, right? But maybe that could be a way. But I think more than that, even though the career thing is like at the forefront of my mind right now, maybe it's an insecurity thing. But more than that, right now, I think after the Anthropic win, I want to accomplish winning a hackathon with a team, but I also want to accomplish doing something more ambitious and do something that goes beyond my current imagination scope. I think a lot of the ideas I've worked on in hackathons are very much well within my grasp of an imagination. And what I mean by imagination, I mean kind of like the ideation stage. Like there's a lot of stuff I can think of. Like I have a whole obsidian folder of just like future project ideas and like it's nothing insane, but I want to like work on something that I think like pushes my ideation further than it currently goes. I think with ideation, although it's not a large part of success, I think it's something that I want to be able to think differently. I think I've been fortunate to go through many experiences that do push me, but I want to try and see the merit of that in the sense of like how can I brainstorm better? How can I identify a problem better? How can I do like synthesis of different stuff I've heard? Like, oh, maybe this company has an issue with this. Maybe these people have an issue with this. And I can say, okay, these are the underlying issues. These are the commonalities and how can I figure out a 24-hour problem, an MVP to solve that problem, right? I won't be able to do that in less than like an hour, 30 minutes or so. I do think that kind of like it is challenging because like once you're working with a group, that becomes a whole different process, and it's like it becomes almost scary. It's like what if like you have a really cool idea, then the other people don't do that cool idea. That might be scary, but also sometimes it's like it becomes much easier to do because not just your brain working, it's also like four other people's brains or three other people, and then you guys can come up with something really cool, right? I think with that, I think with the group thing, my belief with groups is that as long as everyone is ambitious enough, then you'll mostly be fine. I think the biggest thing that I've noticed with groups that tend not to succeed that I've been in is where the question isn't a matter of how can you get it done. It's a matter of the question now becomes if we should get it done. Once the question becomes if, you have a lot of infighting, you have a lot of stuff going like forward and backwards, and it just becomes a whole mess. But once everyone's on the same page or like the same ambition, same goal, it's a much faster and smoother process. You can be like, oh, how should we get this done? And that's a much more productive conversation. But I'm excited for next act. I really don't know what I'm going to build. I really think over Christmas break I should work on a lot of mini hackathons just to get my brain thinking, my skills improving. Um, Also built out a great portfolio. I think my GitHub does look better now. But there's a lot more stuff I have to do. Maybe in terms of open source contributions, I don't think I've done anything in that realm. So I want to try and touch stuff in there. Um, there was an extension I was technically working with that I think is open source for NVIDIA Omniverse. So maybe that could be an open source contribution, but that has not been touched in a minute because of like finals. So have to lock in with that. But I'm excited for NexHacks. I don't know if there's anything else like to say. I don't even know if I think I'm going. I think the biggest hurdle right now with NexHacks is you just figure out a place to stay. It might be a hotel, maybe a friend's place, and then transportation. But I think those are all within my grasp of getting done. And also my financial constraints as well. Because if I'm being honest, the thing might cost like transportation wise, maybe like 400. If I book early, maybe cheaper. Um, I did do an Uber once and it was like 300, but I tipped like 600 or so. I actually don't even remember. But anyways, it should be my ass within my grasp to get there and get back. But I'm excited. I think it's gonna be a great hackathon. I think it's gonna be one of the biggest in the nation. I'm gonna continue growing. I think we really want to do something like that at Big Think AI. And speaking of that, Nvidia's not going back to us, so I really have to go pester them and say, hey guys, get back to us because we're like the best suited to host you guys. But besides that, I have nothing else to say. So have a great day.